welcome back in. You love talking taxes, don't you? Well, that's what we're doing today on Lowcountry Money Talk. Actually, you love talking taxes because you like saving people money.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, and making people money. And
Save money is just as good as making money.
It's all good. Let's do both, right?
Yeah.
So Phil's been walking through how we could get caught really with surprising tax issues.
Yeah.
The issues, of course, being higher taxes.
Sure.
So we're trying to avoid that. And you've been walking us through all these different ways in which we need to plan ahead so that we can avoid it. Let's discuss now, as we wrap up our show today, the income tax rates changing. They're due to sunset. I love this term because it sounds so much prettier than expire, right?
Or tax hike.
Or tax hike, right?
Nobody likes that.
Yeah, sunset sounds so beautiful. So talk to us about this and what's going to happen. What do we do about it?
This is a sunset we're not going to like. Okay. So basically, you know, to get tax legislation through Congress, usually these Congress people have to put an end date on it, or it has to expire at a certain date. So without their vote, it just goes back to the way it was, which is going to be a big tax hike for all of us. So we're good through tax year 2025, and then we sunset, and then if Congress doesn't do anything, which we talk about a lot, they're good at doing nothing. So we take a big rate hike in 2026. So now's the time, because when that expires, you're going to be in a higher tax situation, and you did no plans for that.
Right.
Made no plans at all.
I wasn't even thinking about this until you brought this to my attention.
It's really important. And, you know, the one thing people are too eagerly to take withdrawals out of their IRAs, and they forget that they may have other buckets like we speak of on this show.
Yep.
So the capital gains bucket, now they'll probably try to change that too, but for now, I saw someone recently that came to me, and they're really not using their tax harvesting in this capital gains bucket properly, and it costs them, you know, maybe $3,000 in taxes in 1 year.
Who wants to pay
what
an extra
can we do with
$3,000?
3,000 extra bucks?
Yeah,
you know?
I've got a list.
You know, let's make sure that we know our tax buckets. Know how to improve our tax-free bucket. That's what we're going to talk about here a bit. But also, if we have that capital gains tax bucket, sometimes we can arrange that based upon what we buy or sell as far as equities go, or holdings, to where we can get money out of that capital gain bucket for like zero as far as the taxes go. In other words, if we have let's say an equity position that we lost in years ago, and we've been carrying forward those losses, we still have all those losses to use. Well, you know, if you don't use those and you just go right to your IRA bucket, you're paying normal income tax. Could cost your Social Security tax, as we mentioned, to be higher. But if I take it out of if I use this tax harvesting properly, which I look at every November, should be an automatic thing, we can maybe get some income tax free. And we like that. Tax free. I like that, you know, because we can offset the gains with the losses. If we just take money out of the IRA, it's going to be taxed dollar for dollar as ordinary income. Out of the capital gains bucket, you know, we may be able to offset those gains with losses and take money out of that bucket and not pay any. Okay, so we want to keep that in mind.
Sounds so good.
Well, the last thing I think we need to just follow up on is, like, what do we do? We've got all this money in these deferred accounts. What can we do? And too many times people wait until they have a problem to develop, you know, a solution to the problem. So I try to front run that problem. You know, some accountants may say, well, your taxes don't really look bad now. If we move some of this money from a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA, then it's going to increase your taxes. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait, you know, till the hurricane's coming and I'm going to be up on my roof replacing shingles. I don't think so. So now's the time, because we have the sunset going. You know, we've got a few more years, actually 3 more tax years that we can do some things. And then it expires and we don't know what the rates are going to be. But we know what they are now.
We know what they are now, and we know that the likelihood that they're going to go down is probably not great. So I just think it's so smart, all of this stuff that we've talked about today, but deferring taxes doesn't always make sense for all of the reasons that you outlined. If you'd like Phil and his team to take a look at your picture, they have a Revolutionary Wealth review that you can schedule. You've already got all your ducks in a row from doing your taxes. Just bring it on in. They'll take a look at it. Rachel will get you scheduled if you call the office, and I think that's a smart thing to do, and it's a great time to do it.
Great time.
We hope to see you next time on Lowcountry Money Talk.
All right.
Thank you, Phil.
You're welcome. Good to see you
We'll see you
again.
next time.